Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Tamra judge accused of weaponizing a serious disability after sharing she's on the autism spectrum. As you may have heard by now, the Real Housewives of Orange County star Tamra Judge was recently diagnosed as on the spectrum. She tearfully shared the news during a recent podcast chat with her co-host, Teddy Mellencamp, after sitting through her first therapy session. It didn't take long for people to chime in, and while many of her 2Ts and a pod listeners were understanding, the same can't be said for Bravo viewers. Many of them are going off on social media, accusing the 47-year-old of weaponizing a serious disability. Furthermore, Tamra's former castmate Gretchen Rossi also raised eyebrows at her diagnosis. Gretchen posted a lengthy message accusing Tamra of setting up her storyline for next season with her claims of being on the spectrum. RHOC viewers' reaction proves they've lost respect and trust for Tamra because they showed her no sympathy online. An ex-user noted, Tamra coming out as autistic after a season of fan backlash is so funny, and one of the boldest Real Housewives moves of the postmodern era RHOC. The comment garnered many responses, with one ex-user claiming, "She's not autistic. She's a narcissistic sociopath with no empathy." No, it's not bold, it's f***ing disgusting and weaponizing a serious disability, retorted someone else. One RHOC viewer reasoned, that way Bravo can't fire her due to her disability, it would be discrimination. A commenter exclaimed, "What? Tamra's problem doesn't seem to be autism, but rather a cruelty problem." Another added, and she got diagnosed in her first 60-minute session. It's hard to have empathy to someone who bankrupted empathy to others. As fans continue to chime in on Tamra's recent claims, an RHOC alum has also voiced her opinion, and she's not buying it. Gretchen has been on Tamra's case all season, and she was quick to comment on the video reposted by Alaboutra Podcast. On please, this chick is setting up her storyline for next season, so she can try and get empathy from the audience for her horrible behavior all these years, wrote Gretchen. The blonde beauty slammed Tamra's assertion that she doesn't know how to show empathy for people, noting that the RHOC star can cry on demand when talking about herself. So she has empathy for herself, but not for anyone else, added Gretchen. In a surprising twist that sent shockwaves through the reality TV community, Real Housewives of Orange County star Tamra Judge revealed that she's been diagnosed as being on the autism spectrum. What might have been a moment of vulnerability quickly turned controversial, as many fans and critics accused her of weaponizing a serious disability for personal or professional gain. The revelation came during an emotionally charged episode of the show, where Tamra sat down with her co-stars to share her diagnosis. With tears in her eyes, she explained that for years, she had struggled to understand certain aspects of social interaction and emotional regulation, often feeling different without being able to pinpoint why. She expressed relief in finally having a diagnosis that explained her lifelong challenges, calling it a missing puzzle piece in understanding herself. However, the public reaction was anything but supportive. Almost immediately after the episode aired, social media was flooded with accusations that Tamra was using her diagnosis as a shield against criticism, or worse, as a storyline to garner sympathy and deflect from her notorious feuds on the show. A public backlash. The controversy exploded on Twitter, with hashtags like #AutismGate and #Tamra weaponizing disability trending. I've been watching RHOC for years, and Tamra has always been manipulative. This is just her newest tactic to play the victim, one user wrote. Another echoed the sentiment. As someone with an autistic child, I find it offensive that she's using this diagnosis to excuse her behavior. Autism is not a get-out-of-jail-free card. Many critics pointed out that Tamra has built her reputation on being a tough, outspoken, and often divisive personality on the show. Whether it was fiery feuds with Vicky Gunvalson or explosive confrontations with Shannon Beater, Tamra was known for stirring the pot. Now, some viewers were questioning the timing of her autism diagnosis and whether it was a convenient way to soften her image or to explain away years of combative behavior. Tamra's critics weren't limited to anonymous voices on social media. Prominent figures in the autism advocacy community began speaking out as well. Dr. Ellie Williams, a well-known autism researcher and advocate, tweeted, "Autism is a complex, multifaceted condition that affects millions of people. To see it being potentially used as a reality TV storyline is troubling. It's important to remember that a diagnosis should not be used to justify poor behavior, nor should it be reduced to a plot device." Tamra's response. Tamra didn't take the criticism lying down. In the days following the backlash, she took to Instagram to defend herself. In a lengthy post, she wrote, "I'm absolutely heartbroken by the way some people have reacted to my diagnosis. This is not something I'm using for attention or to excuse anything. Autism is something I'm still learning about, and I'm trying to be open and honest about my journey. The idea that I would weaponize a disability is not only hurtful, but completely untrue." She went on to address her critics directly. "For anyone who feels like I'm using this diagnosis as a shield, that couldn't be further from the truth. If anything, I'm more vulnerable now than I've ever been. I've always been a fighter, and this doesn't change who I am. It just helps me understand myself better." Despite her defense, the controversy continued to swirl. Fans of the show were divided into two camps: those who supported Tamra and applauded her bravery in sharing such a personal part of her life, and those who remained skeptical, believing the timing was too convenient, especially as Tamra's role on the show had been hotly debated in recent seasons. A question of authenticity. One of the central issues fueling the backlash was the question of authenticity. Some viewers pointed out that Tamra's diagnosis came just as she had returned to RHOC after a brief hiatus. Her return was met with mixed reactions, as some longtime fans felt her time on the show had run its course. The timing of her revelation led to speculation that the diagnosis was part of a calculated move to refresh her image and secure her place on the show for future seasons. Reality TV commentator Sarah Thompson weighed in on the situation in an interview with Reality Recap Daily. Tamra has always been savvy about how to stay relevant. She knows how to create a storyline that keeps people talking, and this autism diagnosis could be seen as part of that strategy. That doesn't mean her diagnosis isn't real, but it's understandable why some people might question the timing. Others in the reality TV world, however, came to Tamra's defense. Fellow Real Housewives alum Gretchen Rossi, who has had her own tumultuous history with Tamra, posted a statement in support. "No matter what anyone thinks about Tamra, sharing an autism diagnosis is a deeply personal and difficult thing to do. I hope people give her the space and compassion to navigate this in her own way." The larger conversation. Amidst the controversy, Tamra's revelation has sparked a larger conversation about autism in adulthood, particularly among women. Autism is often underdiagnosed in women, who may present differently than men, and may not fit the stereotypical image of what people think of when they hear autism. Tamra's diagnosis, for all the controversy it has caused, has brought attention to this important issue. Dr. Rachel Morgan, a clinical psychologist specializing in autism spectrum disorders, commented on the situation in a recent interview. While the backlash against Tamra Judge is unfortunate, her story does highlight the reality that many adults, especially women, go undiagnosed for years. Autism is not a one-size-fits-all condition, and people's experiences can vary widely. I hope that, if nothing else, this conversation helps raise awareness about the diverse ways autism can manifest, particularly in adults. Moving forward, as the dust begins to settle, it remains to be seen how Tamra's diagnosis will impact her future on RHOC. Will viewers come to accept her autism diagnosis as a genuine part of her life, or will the skepticism linger? For Tamra, the journey is only just beginning, and navigating the public scrutiny of both her diagnosis and her motives will undoubtedly be a challenging road ahead. But if there's one thing fans of Real Housewives know about Tamra Judge, it's that she never backs down from a fight, even when the odds are stacked against her.